Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please go ahead, click on subscribe, and also click on the bell to receive all the updates and activities on my channel. Also, go ahead and follow me out on Instagram. Alright, so for today's project, we're working on this 2013 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport. And what we're doing is we are replacing the rear rotor and pads on this Jeep. And this Jeep only has 29,000 miles on it. But if you go out and look at the forums and the various groups on it, this is actually a very common issue on these Jeeps. For whatever reason, it goes through brake pads. And it seems to be that you get between 25 and 35,000 miles before the pads are shot. And some people will attribute it to the way the proportioning valve is set up on the Jeep, where it's giving more bias to the rears. Others will attribute it to the HSA, which is the Hill Start Assistant. And essentially what that is, that if you have a manual or an automatic and you're on a hill, it prevents the Jeep from rolling back when you first start. And some people will contribute the wear of the brake pads to the HSA. In essence, when the brakes are released and you go to start, there's drag on the brake pads in the rear, and essentially it causes more wear in the rear. That's why they tend to wear out quicker than the front, because most vehicles you'll replace the fronts way before you do the rears. And to be at the point where there's 29,000 miles on this Jeep and we're already replacing pads and rotors, I'm kind of shocked, but it is what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this thing up on stands and show you what you need to do this job on your own. It's pretty straightforward. So with that being said, let's go over to the Jeep and let's get to work. Alright, so now that you have the wheel off, we're going to take the two 13mm bolts that are holding the caliper onto the bracket. Alright, so once you break them free, take a 15mm wrench, put it on the other side of the boot, and back out that bolt, putting the wrench on the boot so it doesn't spin and twist. Before you take off the bolts, what you want to do is you're going to take a small pry bar, put it in between the piston and the pad, and you're going to drive the piston back into the bore. Go ahead and remove the two bolts. Use a bungee cord, wrap it around the brake caliper, and put it out of the way. Now, using a 18mm socket, go ahead and remove the two bolts that are holding the mounting bracket. Next step is to remove the rotor. To remove the rotor, you have to remove all the oxidation from the axle stub and the rotor. Once you remove all the corrosion from the face of the hub, you can go ahead and pull the rotor off. Comes right off. and then take your new rotor and put it on there. So for the brake pads, I decided to go with full ceramic in the rear because I'm going to be towing with this Jeep, so this thing's going to need all the stopping power that it can get. These are $60 for the set. So when you buy a set of brake pads, you know they're going to give you the set of clips and some grease for it. It's very important that you use all the stuff in the kit, and I'll show you why once we go do the install. Because you know, if you don't use these clips, bad things can happen. And doing the post mortem in here, I kind of know what happened as far as why the pads failed on this so prematurely. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead over to the Jeep and we'll start installing the pads and showing you some tips and tricks and everything else. Alright, so as I was removing the original rotor, one thing I noticed is that somebody was in here before I was, and the telltale sign was, so again, this Jeep only has 29,000 miles on it, but you know, from the factory there should be some star clips on the wheel studs that would have held the rotor on the assembly line as it was going down the line. All those were removed. Another thing that I noticed was the caliper bracket was missing the clips, right? And these clips are very important to have because essentially what it is, when you install the pad into the bracket, these provide a smooth surface for the pads to slide on. Because if you don't, this is essentially a cast iron cast surface, which is very rough, and what will happen is if you don't have the clips in, when you put the pads in, there's gonna be friction on it and they won't slide. And what happened is the clips were missing on either side, and so the pad on the back was hung up, and it was just causing it to bind. Because I've looked at the pins. The pins are nice and free, so it wasn't an issue with the pins, so we're good on that. So again, it's attention to detail, which really is going to constitute how good of a job that you're going to do. So another thing I'm going to work on is when you install the pads, you want to make sure that they slide fairly free inside the two clips, and if they hang up, what you can do is you can just take a file and essentially kiss both of these edges where they go in on both sides and just hit it. And it doesn't take much, and once you do that, the pad will slide in there pretty well. And once you do that, the last thing you want to do is you're going to take the grease that's included in the package and basically grease up these surfaces as well as the ears on the pad. Alright, so with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do everything that we just talked about and prep these pads and get them back in there. Alright, once you have the pads and the caliper bracket on, go ahead and put your two bolts in and tighten those down. At this point, go ahead and reinsert the caliper onto the bracket. Start caliper bolts on both sides. Using the 15mm wrench, go ahead and hold the boot down and tighten the caliper bolts. So the last step is, now that the Jeep is back on the ground, torque the wheels to 90 foot-pounds. Alright, so at this point, all you need to do is go ahead and take it out for a road test. But before you do that, go ahead and jump in the driver's seat, pump those brakes about 5 or 6 times to make sure that the piston is making contact with the your new pads, because otherwise, if you don't, the first couple times that you press the brake, it may go right to the floor. So make sure you do that and go from there, road test it, and then when you come back, recheck the torque on the wheels, and essentially that's all you need to do. So I hope everybody likes this. If there's any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and leave them in the comments box. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.